Workbook, there can be multiple worksheets. So let me show you. All these are worksheets. How to create a new worksheet? Just click on this new sheet and you will be able to create a new sheet. So one workbook can have a lot of worksheets, right? A workbook can have a lot of worksheets, and these worksheets are exactly same a book. So you have, or a copy, right? A copy. In this copy, you will have a lot of pages, right? Or sheets, worksheet. So imagine your file, this Excel file, as workbook, and the thing that you will actually work upon as worksheets, right? And inside this worksheets, there would be things like these small cells. These are called cells, where you can put your data in. So if I'll show you one thing, that data would look something like this. So you are putting the numbers, you are putting the dates, you are putting the words, all these kind of things you are putting in your worksheets. Sorry, cells. So one unit of data you will put in a cell. So first thing is a workbook. Workbook would have many worksheets, and worksheets would have, let's say you have this written somewhere, that the start or the number that you have to look, scroll it down, you will have to scroll it on this particular side to reach to that particular cell. Do you all agree with this? That you will have to scroll down. But now, let's say you don't actually want to scroll it. You don't want to scroll it. First thing, this vertical thing or columns are referred by these letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So these letters basically refer to your columns, and rows are referred by these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhat like that, right? Would have a reference here D5, right? D5. This reference G12. So this is G12. So are you getting how the references of a particular or the naming of a cell is decided? Intersection of column and row. So G7, G8, G9 in that. Now let's say you want to reach to R239. One way is to write it here, R239. Press enter and you will reach R239. Another is, if you don't want to come here, another shortcut is use CTRL-G. CTRL-G, put the reference, let's say I put the reference H455. It reached H455. CTRL-G and then type H, like whatever cell you want to reach. As easy as that. Everyone able to understand this go to? Just CTRL plus G. Press CTRL plus G and then just type your reference that you want to go to. Right? Take it, or you can reach H. As simple as that. Now let's move forward and let's see this paste special. I will show in just a while. Insert, right? You go on insert and I think it was somewhere here. Or was it in home? Yes, you go on this home, insert, and you can insert sheet column. So it inserted a column and it shifted whole thing right here, right? As simple as that. If you want to do this particular thing, if you want to insert a column, Go on home and this. Yes, you want, if you want to insert it in middle, also insert it right here. So go on, press Alt, then just follow the steps. H, then I, then C, and it inserted the column. You can use, there are multiple shortcuts, but I'm just giving you the most intuitive one that everyone can learn. Right? That everyone can learn. Just follow this particular thing. Let's say you want to insert a row here. Insert would come from here, right? Insert would come from here. You know this. And this is in home. So first press Alt. And let me just zoom in a little bit. Press Alt first. Do you see all these markings on your sheet? Your Excel, to do this, you will have to go for here and some random data. Just you can put some random data, right? Just to see the effect of it. Copy this, paste it, copy, paste, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl V. I've just created some random data out of it. Right? If you have downloaded, then also. What you can do is, if you want to insert, let's say you want to insert a column before this one, right? Before C, you want to insert a column. So what you will do is, first press Alt. Is everyone seeing all these things highlighted? Since you want to reach here, it is in home. So press H, right? Then press I. Then press, you want to insert a column, so press C. And a column was inserted. So now, let's come to this. So inserting rows and columns. Right? Now let's go to something called formatting. Right? Something called formatting. We will come to this merge cell, group column, group things in just a while. But let's first of all look at freeze panes and grid lines. Okay. First, let's look at this freeze panes. What do you mean by freeze panes? And let me do one thing. Let me unfreeze. And let me do one thing. Okay, just one more thing that I forgot to do. How to delete column. Let's say I want to delete this column. Follow those steps. You want to delete this particular column, bring your cursor here, then press Alt, H, D, and delete row. Delete column. So you deleted this column. As easy as inserting. Insert and delete, you can do like that. Is this first of all clear to everyone? Insert and delete. Exactly. Alt H D C. Alt H D C. Just press Alt H D C. First bring your cursor to that particular column that you want to delete. That particular column, any row of that particular column, and then just press Alt H D C. As simple as that. Okay. Another thing that I want to tell you, let's say you wanted to insert a column here. So what you will do is Alt H I C, right? But let's say by mistake you did Alt H D. Now you want to go back a step because you actually wanted to insert. So what you can do is press ESC, escape. It would take you a step back. Now you can do this and insert. Delete this, Alt H D C. Delete it. Okay. Now let's try to understand one thing. Let's say you have data with you. This is nothing but COVID related data. COVID related data on this particular date, how many deaths happened, how many deaths increased. In ICU, how many people were there? In currently, how many were there? Hospitalized increase, hospitalized currently, hospitalized cumulative. All these stats are given, right? All these stats are given. Now tell me one thing. For a particular date, I want to look at, let's say, on ventilator currently, right? I want to look at that on, let's say, this particular date. Scroll, the header would stay intact, and even when I'll scroll on this side, the date would remain intact. Wouldn't it be great? Do you all agree that it would be great if I will be able to do that particular thing? Okay, so now let's how to do that thing. Just one second. How to do that particular. So you go to the cell, which you want to freeze, or which you want to make intact. Even you want to avoid scrolling. Now you go to the cell, above which you want to freeze it. What I mean by freezing, above which you want to keep intact. So I want to keep this date, year, month, death increase, this particular row intact, right? So you go to the cell just below that. If I wanted to keep these two rows intact, I would have gone to this particular cell. Now, in the similar way, if you also want to keep this column as intact, you go to the cell which is further than this particular column, just on the right hand side of that particular column. If I'll combine this, you need to go to the cell above which you want to keep your rows intact, and on the left hand side you want to keep everything intact. B2, because I want to freeze this date and I also want to freeze this row. So I want to freeze first this thing and I want to freeze this A. So I will go on this B and I want to freeze this, so B2. So I went here. Now what I'll do is I will press Alt, I will press W, right? I will press F and I will press F again, right? So in view, freeze panes, I want to go to freeze panes, right? I want to go to freeze panes. Now if you will see, even when I'm scrolling down, this is intact. This is completely intact. Even when I'm scrolling this is intact. Now you can see on this particular date, easily I'm able to see that the number was this one. On this date, on ventilator currently was this one. Press Alt. Now you want to go to view, then you want to go to F, and you freeze the page. Press F again. We have done now freeze panes. Okay. Now, so Excel is not only used to maintain the data, but a lot of time it is also used to present the data to someone, right? If you want to present something, some data, you can present it using Excel. So Excel also is used to present data to someone, right? Okay, exactly. The first one looks much better than your second sheet. This looks much better than this. So let's try to create this particular sheet in this particular format. Okay, So let's start with merge cell. What is merge cell? So right now, we're looking at this particular thing. This is the heading. This is the heading of our, and just okay, this is the heading for us, right? And you will also see, okay, the first thing is, see this thing. When you will initially open your Excel, there would be a lot of columns in this. But your main data is only till this particular part, this max to max I column. Your data is just till I column. Mostly your data is till I columns. Do you all agree with this? That most of your data is only till I column. Wouldn't it be great if we will be able to hide this particular or everything after that particular column? Select this column, press CTRL, press shift, press right. It would select everything until where it won't be able to find the data, right? Then right click and just hide, right? Right click and just hide, right? You can hide. Sorry. So you have hidden. Now look at this thing. Now look at this thing. This is the heading. This is the heading that we have. So again, okay, let me show it here. So your data is only till I. So what you can do is click on this, press CTRL, shift, right. It would select everything. Now just, sorry, hide, not here. Right click and you can click on hide. In the similar way, if you want to hide the rows, just press CTRL, shift, down. It would select all the rows that are not needed. Now click on hide and it would just show you the data that is relevant for you. So don't worry about it as of now. You will be able to do this in just some time. You will ask chat. Okay, now let's focus on the main thing that we have to do. This index looks like a heading. Right? So I would say don't use shortcut for that. You can directly use it using the mouse. Right? Okay. Now, does this index look like a I would say heading to you? It does not feel like a heading, but it looks like a heading, right? It looks like a heading, but it does not exactly feel like a heading. So what I would like to do is, I would like to keep this in middle. And I would like to combine all these cells together so that this would come in middle and it would look like it is the heading. So somewhat like this. It would look something like this. Right? So that it looks somewhat like your heading. So what you can do is just select this. Now select all the rows. So how to select? Press shift and keep on clicking the rows that you want to merge together. Right? Till here you want to merge all the cells. Is everyone getting this? That till here, this H you have to merge everything from A to H. Shift and the key that you want to move towards, because you want to select all these rows. Sorry, you want to select all these cells. So shift, then right. Right. I have selected everything. Now what I will do is I will press Alt H M C. Alt H M C, which is merge and center. Now this became center of your this thing. Merge and center. In 2007 it might be a bit different, or what you can simply do is go to this merge and center and do merge and center. Now, okay, so now we have done this. Now we want to give this a different color, the background of this particular index a different color. So what I can do is I can go here and let's give this bluish color. This bluish color. Right? Clear to you? After we gave blue to this thing. So now this index looks much better to you. Right? Now similarly, let's do for this Excel introduction also. So I'll select this particular thing. I will go on merge and center, or you can use Alt H M C. Right? Now I want to change this color also. So I can go Alt H. Now whichever color I want to choose. I wanted to choose this particular color. Right? Now again I want to change the font, this thing. I will do this. Right? First thing. Let me increase the font size of this. Let's keep it 12. So that this looks like a header. Okay. How to color? Okay. Now you want to do the exact same thing to this formatting, to this function, to this analysis, to this, or let's remove this. To this analysis, to this function and formatting. Right? So what you can instead do is select this, go to Format Painter and click on this particular thing. Wait a second. Just one second. Format Painter. It won't do this particular thing. So you will have to put it here because it was there. So put it here. So you go here, you click on Format Painter, you click here, and directly you didn't have to do anything, and the format of this particular cell or this particular thing was copied right here. Like sheet you are working on. All the columns after H. Okay, so the thing is select all those columns. So just press Ctrl Shift right key, right? And right click, hide. So it would hide everything. That is how you do it. Okay. So again, let's function. Copy the format, paste it for analysis. So you didn't have to do all the steps. You just copied the format of that particular thing and pasted it to the rest of the things. Now, it still does not look very good, right? It still does not look very good. Even though we have got this particular thing, still does not look very good. And just, so we were able to do a few things. Now, this looks good. This looks good for now. This looks good for now. But these grayish outlines are kind of not looking good to you. Do you all agree with this? That these kind of grayish outlines, the boundary lines does not look very good to you. Right? So how to remove these and click on this grid lines. And now you can see it's much clearer than before. It's much clearer than before. So try it out. It's much clearer than before. The last thing, just go on this view, click on this grid lines. This would bring up these boundaries, these grayish boundaries. Just uncheck this and it would remove all the grayish boundaries. Now, let's say this looks good, but wouldn't it be great if I want to first focus on this Excel introduction, then I just want to focus on formatting, then I just want to focus on functions, then I just want to focus on analysis. Wouldn't it be great if if I won't have to scroll down that much? It would be a great thing, right? So what I can do is I can create groups of this. I can just create groups of this. So what I can first of all do is I can select all the rows. I will click on this. I will select, press shift, select till where you want to group things, right? Then just go to this data, go to this group, and it would group things. Now you can see this was created as a drop down thing. So if you want to do Excel introduction, you can do drop down. In the similar way, let's try to do for rest of the things also. We will go to this, we will go to this, we will group. We'll go to this, we'll go to this, we will group. Sorry. Go to this and group. Select this and this, or till here. Now what you can simply do is you can create these drop downs. Just one. Oh, wait a second. Let me create these drop downs. So whichever you want to see, you can just press that. About this Excel introduction. Now we have completed this, you can drop it. Then drop down. So right now we are in formatting. So we will just focus on this formatting. So grouping things. Similarly, you can also group your columns. Let's say this is the complete group that you want to create. Click on this and now you can even, here till here, you want to do the grouping. So just click on this, you will be able to do the create. So it's just used to make groups out of things. So all these were having some subheadings inside them. You just created group. So Excel introduction was a complete group. So you created a group of that. Now you can press this drop down to do this. How to? Very easy. Just select the rows, go on group, and it would do the grouping for you. How to do ungrouping? Just select whichever part you want to ungroup, click on that, click on ungroup, and you will be able to ungroup that. So let me do the ungroup for you. This one ungroup. So we have done the ungrouping of this one. So this now you can't do drop down of this. You can't do drop down of this. You can only do drop down of formatting. So that's why what we will do is we will just create a group of this again. Till here. So just do drop down. Again, let me do one thing. Let me do ungrouping. And let me just do grouping for this one. Functions, ungroup, so select the rows that you want to group together and just group them. So you can see now, whichever you want to drop down, you can drop down that. Now, there are 2-3 kinds of hyperlinks. To do this hyperlink, right? How to, just one second. I think there was this thing, group ungroup, we have done that, and this we have done, this also we have done, and okay, so, okay, this would come later and home. So there can be 2-3 kinds of hyperlinks. So let me give you one thing that I definitely do. Link. One thing is you can put a complete address to this. So let's put www.google.com and give the complete address. So when you click on OK, when you click on this hyperlink now, it would take you to that link, hyperlink, right? Hyperlink is nothing but creating a link on which if you will click, it would take you somewhere. So right click on this. Let me first of all remove this. Right click on this. Another way is go to insert on the cell. First of all, the word that you want to create the hyperlink for, go to that particular, take your cursor to that, go on insert, click on this link, right? Now there are 2-3 things you can do. First thing is address. You can give a proper address to this particular thing, right? You can give a proper address to this thing, like www.google.com. Let's say if I have written Google here, or click here for Google. What I can simply do is go to this, insert hyperlink, www.google.com. When I'll click on this, it would take me to google.com. As simple as that. Next thing is, you can even go to another sheet or another like cell from another sheet. So let's say you want to go to this formula sheet and B3 of this formula sheet. So what you can do is formula, let's write formula sheet. Let's insert a hyperlink for this link. Now place in this document, right? Place in this document, click on this formula and which one? B3. When you will do this, when you will click on this, it would take you directly to the B3 of formula cell. Usually these two are the things that you create hyperlinks for. You'll be able to understand. Now how to remove that? Again, go to link and remove hyperlink. So it removed hyperlink. Now again, if you want to insert the hyperlink to go to formula sheet, click on link. Now you want to click, place in this particular document or workbook itself, in which particular sheet? Formula sheet. And on which particular cell you want to go? You want to go to B3 of formula sheet. So when you will click on this, it would take you directly to B3 of formula sheet.